Beautiful friends, beautiful souls, I hope you're having an amazing Friday. Today is Friday, March 22nd, 2024, and I'm coming at you live from Sedona, Arizona. Hopefully my connection's good. Everything's good. It looks good on my end. It says excellent, dude. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, let me put my computer on Do Not Disturb. Rock and roll. How are you all doing today? It's a beautiful day. It was gorgeous out today in Sedona, Arizona. Oh, hold on 1 second. Got something. All right, I'm back. Sorry. All right, can you all hear me good? All sounds good here, says those in the chat room. Welcome Dorothy and Tori and Sodi and Cheryl. Cheryl. I have a BFF, Cheryl. Light me some Palo Santo. Palo Santo. To clear the good vibes of the space. This is my temple space, actually. That is my huge altar behind me, actually. Where my candles are always burning. Always, always, always. So interesting stuff happening in the world. No surprise there, right? We just had the sad incident that brings one of my predictions into fruition once again. What happened over there in Moscow during a concert event where there was a Pow Pow event that occurred. And if you remember, it wasn't that long ago. Within the past month, maybe a little bit longer, give or take, the Spirit said that there would be more Pow Pow events at a concert hall or at a music festival. Pretty sure that that was a concert hall where that took place. Didn't really get time to read about it or anything, but sad. You know, and I said that last year in the end of September, and then look what happened in October in Israel at a festival. And that was definitely the visions that I was having of that one. I can't say I had any visions of the second one that just happened. I just was told, as you know, Spirit said that we were going to have another one of them coming. You know what's coming that's really wild? The eclipse. And the eclipse season. And I got some interesting things that I thought were really fascinating about this eclipse because, you know, when people think, oh, something big's going to happen on that day, well, yeah, there's going to be an eclipse. And if you're in certain parts of the United States, you'll be able to see it. But that's not really it. That is activating something, and it's not even just the one that's coming on April 8th. It's also the one that we have coming at the end of this month on, what date was that, the 26th or the 28th? Whatever the full moon is. Next Sunday, I believe it is. Not this weekend, but the following weekend, I'm pretty sure. I don't have my calendar in front of me. I'm sure someone in the chat will tell us. Hello. Oh, Cheryl's here. My BFF Cheryl's here. I'm not going to tell you who she is. It's a secret. But she is in the chat room. Hey, Cheryl. How you doing, girl? Hey, Dee, Elizabeth, Christy. Oh, right. Anyway, moving right along. So, yeah, this eclipse that's coming up, pretty wild. This upcoming, well, the solar eclipse, they're both wild, of course, but the one that's happening, the solar eclipse on April 8th, is more of a very rare, very biblical prophecy event that's taking place. Here's some facts about this that I thought were very interesting. Well, now, somebody posted this fact, but it's not a fact, that it's 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days, 6666, after the last total eclipse over the U.S. in 2017. That is actually incorrect math. So if you read that, that's incorrect. And someone said that in my comments on, I don't know if it was YouTube or on I was on social media. Someone told me it was more like 3,000 days, not 6,000 days. So that was incorrect. This is not incorrect, however. With the eclipse, I don't have I should have put a picture up. I forgot to put a picture in. Darn, I forgot to put a picture in. But you all know about the whole X shape and all. But it actually, we got to go back to 2017. You can go find in my videos, actually, the 2017 eclipse. And when that really activated all the biblical prophecy stuff that we were going to see. And then soon after, look what happened with the Euphrates drying up, which is in the Holy Bible's prophecies. So it all ignited back in 2017, big time. Look what happened shortly after in 2020. And when you really look up some of this stuff and how it relates to the Bible and what's the name of that? Nineveh, it's pretty interesting. Because in the Bible, when the eclipse goes over Nineveh, don't quote me on the exacts of this, but shortly after they had the big plague that happened. Well, look what happened not long after the 2017 eclipse. Within that 3 years, 2.5 years, there was a plague that broke out. That eclipse, so the eclipse, the way it goes across makes an X, and it makes actually the shape of a Hebrew alpha and omega, A in the Hebrew alphabet. It passes, this is what I thought was interesting. It passes over 7 U.S. cities named Nineveh. Nineveh means repent. Nineveh's all over the Holy Bible. It also passes over 7 U.S. cities by the name of Salem. I don't think Salem, Massachusetts is one of them, but maybe. I don't know where it passes. I don't think it goes directly over there. But 7 cities named Nineveh, 7 cities named Salem. Salem means peace. So we have repent, we have peace. Interesting. And all of the major planets are in perfect alignment with a 2024 total solar eclipse, along with the Pleiades galaxy and also a comet. I don't know what comet it is. I got to look that one up. Wonder if it has anything to do with the Apophis that's going to be hitting us, coming very close to hitting us on Friday the 13th in April 2029. There's a video I did on that. If you missed that video, go check it out. It's called, what is that video called? I think it's called Warning, actually. Warning, April 13th, 2029. You're not going to want to miss that video. That's a good one. So the X that is coming over actually intersects directly over the New Madrid fault zone, the earthquake zone. What I say about massive earthquakes hitting. So I already hear your questions from the spirits. Oh, but is there going to be one on the New Madrid fault? It's definitely going to become active. And remember, like I said, it's not all going to happen on that day. It's all actually going to be beginning happening on this next eclipse that's coming up on the full moon before we get to April 8th. Thank you, C, for your chat cash love and support. I couldn't do it without you. I greatly appreciate you with infinite love and gratitude. So the X, and look at how we have all this X stuff, right? I talked about this on one of the Tuesday show. And you have Elon Musk, who's obsessed by the X. And some people pointed out, was it Starlink or the other one that he has? The logo actually matches up with the pattern of the eclipse. Now, here's another interesting thing is that the Chinese spy balloon, remember that bad boy? And the Chinese spy balloon actually followed the direct path of the 2017 eclipse. Things that make you go, Thank you, Coney Island Mermaid. Coney Island Mermaid, thank you for your chat cash. Are you a mermaid? Did you watch my Mermaid Stranger Things episode? You should watch that too. Did that last month. So yeah, the Chinese spy balloon went right directly over the direct path of the 2017 eclipse. The last total solar eclipse followed the path of the crack across America from Montana to Florida. The cicada locust plague is also centered in that area starting at the same time. The path of totality begins in America in a place called Jonah, also the one who called Nineveh to repent in the Bible as the total solar eclipse happened overhead. Interesting, right? There's so much that lines up with the Bible. And again, this going over those cities. Come on, there's no coincidences, friends. And did you even know? I didn't even know that there were actually that many cities named Nineveh in the United States. And for there to be 7 that this eclipse follows perfectly. In Salem, so is God telling us to repent? And is peace going to break out? All we are saying is give peace a chance. That's all we're saying, man. That's all we're saying. And I agree. And that's the good thing that's actually coming out of this. There is good that comes out of this. After the chaos, the phoenix will rise again from the ashes. The eagle in the United States will rise again from the ashes. But it has to all burn to ashes first. Everything has to collapse. And not everybody, is going to bear through that very, very well. And it's in all the prophecies. And now we have this prophetic event that's happening, over the next few weeks. Jesus prophesied that the end of days would come with the sign of Jonah. And what did we just say about Jonah? The path of totality begins in America in a place called Jonah. Also, the one that he called Nineveh. I always get that word wrong. Nineveh, say that 20 times fast. Nineveh, to repent during a total solar eclipse. And again, Jesus prophesied that at the end of days would come with the sign of Jonah. Is that the sign? The eclipse beginning right over that part of the United States? To a wicked and adulterous generation, according to the Bible, a wicked and adulterous generation. Unlike all previous total solar eclipses over the United States, the National Guard, this is what's really creepy, friends, the National Guard is being called out and called forward in, I think, 13 states or something now. I forget how many states, but a lot of states. It's like a ridiculous amount. And I think it was just Oklahoma that just announced that they are doing it now. So and that never happened during any previous eclipse ever in our country. But now suddenly the National Guard is being deployed across the country, and some of them are coming with hazmat suits to prevent industrial contamination. Are they trying to tell us something, friends? I think they're trying to tell us something. What did somebody say in the chat room? There is a Nineveh, Missouri. Yeah, I did remember that. Nineveh, Missouri. Not in the path this time. And we're not saying just this eclipse. We're going between the two eclipses and the X's, because this X started way back in 2017. Then we had the eclipse, was it last year? Because I remember sitting outside with my funny looking glasses on watching it. It was really spectacular, actually. There was no National Guard out for that, friends. No National Guard out for any other eclipses. And you can find the articles. This isn't conspiracy or fake news. You can find all the articles and read about the National Guard being called out during the eclipse, in the path of the eclipse, with hazmat suits, some of them. Now, Jesus prophesied again at the end of days would be coming with the sign of Jonah. Is that what's happening? Interesting, right? I thought I had more details than that, but that's a lot of details. That's a lot of information, a lot of weirdness, if I don't say so myself. Like a lot of weirdness. So anyway, moving on to some of the questions we have here. And again, you're probably asking, is there going to be something that happens? There's going to be something that happens in the whole window of eclipses. It's not just going to be on the 8th eclipse day. But it seems like our government knows something that we don't, like they're preparing for something that maybe perhaps they planned already. We'll have to see and keep an eye out for my April predictions, because when I tap into that, I'll be interested to see what happens. Spirit just said some of the predictions, past predictions, will come into fruition during that week. So it's a whole week cycle. It'll be interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Someone asked, how do you program and clear a crystal? Well, first and foremost, I have a video on YouTube. It's an old video called, I think it's titled, Clearing Negative Energy. But I'll show you because it's so simple of a process. You're going to want to get your magical crystals. Well, actually, I have a whole bunch right next to me. I prefer white sage, California white sage to be exact. I'm a sage snob. It has to be the best. And that's what I use. I'm actually going to attempt again to grow some more of my California white sage myself. It is a challenge because it's not regular cooking sage. You could use frankincense and myrrh. You could use Palo Santo. What else? They're the main ones that I would use. There's others that you can use, other types of incense and herbs that you can burn to clear them. But again, preferably white sage or Palo Santo. Frankincense and myrrh is what they use in church, a Catholic church, that is. And basically, you're going to want to just take your crystal and clear it. Now, there is a proper way of clearing things, and I'm not going to go through all that because I have a whole video on it, clearing negative energy, where you use your sage, your abalone shell, your feather wand. This bad boy right here. And that is the process, but that's a process. And again, just look up the video, Clearing Negative Energy, on my channel. This carpet's on my nerves. And you'll find out. So to program your crystal, crystals have, and this is the thing that not everybody realizes, crystals have both a magical property and a medicinal property. The magical property would be like it's for good luck, or it's for love, or it attracts, I don't know, clears negative energy. That would be a magical property. Medicinal property would be for it's good for your blood, or it's good for your heart, good for diabetes, and so forth. When I had a crystal shop decades ago, way back when dinosaurs roamed the planet, I would tell people we had a chart that said what all the crystals meant, mainly medicinal purposes. And people would try to look and see what they need off the chart, and I would always say the rule is just to go and see what jumps out at you. And the one that jumps out at you is the one that you need. And they would do that, customers, and then they would read the chart. I'm like, read the chart after you find the one that jumps out at you. It would always match up with exactly what they needed. So what you do is you hold your crystal in a prayer kind of mode with your hands apart. You hold your intention in your mind. You close your eyes. You should do this in a sacred space while you still got your sage burning. Take deep breaths in, and 3 times you're going to hold your intention and blow it onto your crystal. That is programming. Crystals are like computer systems. They're not going to do anything unless they're programmed. People would buy them and put them on their neck and expect them to work, and it just doesn't work that way. Sorry. Thank you, Michelle M., for your chat cash with infinite love and gratitude, and solid rock as well. Thank you with infinite love and gratitude. So that's how you program a crystal. Now, you know, there's a debate over charging crystals. Everybody's like, the full moon, the full moon. Actually, I find the best way to really clear and charge crystals is to take them to a natural stream, flowing stream of water, and put your crystals in the water. I have a purple amethyst somewhere from a long time ago, and I used it and programmed it for psychic energy. And that purple crystal became clear. It lost all its color. YouTube is not receiving stream. What's going on here? Can you all still hear me? Because this is telling me it's bad. Well, it appears to be good to me. So I put the crystal in a stream. We were meditating down in the park, you know, up in Pennsylvania. I remember putting it in the water and just sitting there meditating. And then when we were done, I pulled it out of the water, and it became deep purple all over again. And everybody noticed it. I was with a group of friends. They were all like, dude, wasn't that just clear? No way, it just turned purple. I'm like, it was purple, it just lost its color. Now, black tourmaline, which is great for clearing dark energies and absorbing dark energies. And these will absorb the dark energies, and eventually your black tourmaline will shatter into a bunch of little pieces. If you have a crystal that shatters into little pieces, it means it took on too much energy and it's done. You should bury the pieces in the ground. If you cleanse it and keep it cleansed and programmed often, you won't have to worry about it shattering into lots of pieces. Go stick it in the water. Another place that I would take my crystals to is I would always wear a bathing suit with pockets that zip shut so I didn't lose them, and I'd stick them in my pockets and go into the ocean because they love the salt water. So I would do that with my crystals as well. But programming is important. They're not going to do anything unless you tell them what to do. It's just like a computer system. So, moving right along. You know, lots of people keep asking questions, and they ask this question all the time, which means they don't watch every Tuesday. You got to watch every Tuesday, friends, because you're going to miss stuff. So many people asked about numerology and getting your personal number. First of all, there's a video on my YouTube, in my YouTube shorts, that tell you exactly how to do your own personal numerology. And Google numerology calculator. It's that easy. You can come up with, there's a couple different points of numerology. There's the universal year for the planet, which is based on the year we're in. We're in 2024. You just add those numbers together. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're in an 8 universal year. You use that 8 universal year as the basis of your number. So your number is your birthday, your month, plus your day, not the year. Forget the year. You're not doing a year for your personal yearly number. You don't put the year, your birthday in there, just the month and the day. So I'm 9/22, 9 plus 2 plus 2. What was that? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then you break it down again. 3 plus 1 is 4. So I have a 4 base number based on my birthday. You add that to the year that we are in. We are in an 8 year. So 8 plus 4 is 12. 2 plus 1 is 3. I am in my 3 personal year. Don't ask in the chat room. If you didn't catch it at that point, Google it. Google it and you can calculate it. There's a personal number calculator and there's a name calculator for numerology, because your name, your full name, adds up to a number. You have a life path number. You have just lots of numbers, just like an astrological chart. But if you just want to know your yearly thing, that's based on how I just told you, using your birthday and adding that together with the universal year that the planet's in. To find out your life path number and all that, just, again, go online. You can do it for free. There's so many you can do the numerology name calculator, birthday calculator. They're all online. Somebody asked, also in the realm of numerology, do we die while we're in a 9 year? No, not necessarily. You can die in any year. Doesn't matter. But from my experience, mediumship, friends, family that passed, in my lifetime, I've noticed a very strong pattern of people passing, on their in a 9 year. Not everybody. Lisa Marie Presley died in her 1 year. I just find, again, thank you, Sherry Berry. You're sweet like a berry for your chat cash. So yeah, the 9 year is endings, death of cycles, getting rid of, letting go of course. So yeah, potentially out of all the numbers, that would be the most likely year, but it's not everybody. The second most common, again, just based on my experience, I base those facts just from my experiences and clients and so forth. The 4 years, the second most common. The 4 is based on health and all that. Look at 2020. That was a 4 year universally on the planet. We had to be mindful of COVID and everything else that was happening that year. As long as you were mindful and not in fear, you didn't end up getting sick like many people did. Don't feed into the fear. Don't feed into the hype. That alone will get you sick. So no, you don't always die in a 9 year. Another pattern that I noticed with people passing is I notice people pass very often, not always again, but it's really creepy common that people pass away right before their birthday. And I figured out why. Because our soul contracts that you agreed to and signed up for before you came into this life is all based on the astrological calendar, not anything other. So everything's based on your birthday. That's why I have the video, most powerful day of the year. I put it out in every newsletter every month. If you have a birthday coming up, watch that video. Most powerful day of the year, because your birthday is the true New Year's day for you on a personal level. Your numerology changes the personal year, not on your birthday. That's your astrology. Don't get them mixed up. Numerology changes on January 1st, New Year's Day. That's based on your birthday and, again, numbers. But as far as astrology is concerned, that would be your birthday. So if someone asked that question in the comments too, confusing them. That's easy to confuse. But yeah, that's the case. It's your birthday. Your birthday is your soul, that's the day your soul came in here. So if there's nothing beyond your soul contracts, beyond your birthday, yeah, of course you would probably pass shortly before. I have a friend that passed the day before his birthday. My mama was like a month before her birthday. It's usually within 30 days, a lot of people. But again, not everybody. Don't get paranoid around your birthday. Don't get paranoid at all. Embrace and enjoy every moment of your life now, so that, when the time does come, you're not regretting that you didn't enjoy it. Staying in fear is just delaying your time on earth here even more. the Earth is a wonderful, amazing place. There's so much beauty and so many amazing things. I personally like it here. I say it to my friends all the time. If I died right now, I'd be really pissed off. I'd be so mad because I really got to a point where I really like it here. I'm very comfortable on this earth. I got work to do, things I want to do. So that's the numerology. Anyway, is everybody chatty in the chat room? YouTube said my connection was bad, but no, I look fine here. Right. All right, moving right along. Let me get rid of these so I don't forget. Personal year did that. 9 year did that. Crystals did that. There's just so much. It's overwhelming in my brain. Let's talk about Kate Middleton for a minute, because there were so many millions of questions, which is interesting. That means that people didn't watch the Tuesday show where I talked about Kate Middleton and told you all about her. People still ask in the chat all the time. I find it interesting. People ask questions all the time about stuff that's already answered in the videos. So Kate has the big C, they say. Somebody in there was saying that they heard or whatever that she was sacrificed by the evil dark royal family. That is incorrect. They're not that less than smart. They're definitely not that less than smart. A little bit smarter than that, those royals, when it comes to getting rid of people. Look at Princess Di. They have their other ways of doing it. And, they can make it look so natural. Especially the CIA. They have stuff to make it look so natural. Heart attacks they have the heart attack gun. I think it's actually called that. So, they only need to be not that close to you if they wanted to get you. Someone said that to me in the comments too. Oh, I'm worried that something bad, they're going to go after you. People said that to David Icke too. And I agree with David Icke. If you're on a different vibrational level, they can try all they want. We're on a different vibrational level than them. So that's what you got to do. Just be in a different vibration and don't worry about that. Remember, your greatest fears become a reality because you focus on it all the time and you feed it. Instead of focusing on your greatest fears, instead focus on your greatest dreams and aspirations for the future. That's what you got to do, friends. That's what you got to do. So Kate Middleton, the big C. Poor thing. Isn't it interesting that... Lord, this darn carpet. Isn't it interesting that the king gets the big C, and now Kate? I knew when I saw that recent video they just put out on her. What was that, yesterday or the day before, with her walking with the I'm not even gonna say. I'm gonna be nice. Need a little coffee hit. I knew she looked sickly. I'm like, she looks very sickly. She was very skinny and she appeared very sickly to me. So, and I didn't tap into it since I talked about her a week or two ago. I told you that she was in a place of grief and mourning. She was very, I told you she was having depression. She was in a place of grief and literally grieving like a loss. Mainly because of her relationship. And I told you in the future she'll end up divorced. And hopefully she don't end up like Princess Diana did. It wouldn't surprise me, like father, like son. He's doing the same exact thing that his dad did to that poor girl, that poor Katie girl. So now I wonder why she's got the big C. Now, every disease and every health issue has a very deep-rooted, very specific emotional cause. I tell you about it all the time. I talk to my clients about it. I always keep my Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life close by. Most of them I know by heart because I've been following this book for so many decades. I just know it by heart. Even the big C, but I'm still going to read it directly from the book for you anyway. The emotional cause of the big C. And I don't like to say the word because I don't like to feed it energy. I have a niece that passed away from the big C. She was only 12 years old. It was an awful thing to witness. The emotional cause is deep hurt, long-standing resentment, deep secrets or grief eating away at thyself, carrying hatreds. What's the use? Why bother? And you can see that she's definitely in a place of deep hurt. The And people are like, oh, that's not her walking with him. That was her walking with him. I have no doubt, especially now that they told us that she's, being treated for the big C. No doubt. I knew that was her because she's very sickly, just like I felt when I connected to her energy a couple weeks ago for a Tuesday show. And that's when I told you she's in a place of grief. She's very depressed. She's probably got a little bit of an eating disorder going on with that as well. And she's still alive. It's not a clone. That's her. Now she's fighting. So what is the deep hurt? The long-standing resentment? Or the deep secrets or grief eating away at herself? Now, when we look at the emotional causes of diseases, we don't have to look at every little one I just said. It could be just the deep hurt. It might not be deep hurt. It could be carrying hatreds. What's the use? It could be all of those. Did they say where she had it at? I don't know if they said what kind she had. Does somebody know in the chat room? Tell me what kind of big C that she had. I don't think they said. Well, from what I heard, they didn't say. Maybe somebody else can, because that's the other thing. Different parts of the body represent different things. So, for example, if you had breast, the big C in the breast, two different definitions, completely different interpretations. You got the big C diagnosis, again, deep hurt, long-standing resentments. Then you have breast issues. And the emotional cause of breast issues, which could be anything, could be a cyst or anything with the breast, is refusal to nurture thyself, putting everyone else first, over mothering, over protecting, and overbearing attitudes. So, if you know anybody that had breast issues, did somebody say stomach? You said stomach. Now, we talked about her stomach before because I remember we looked up her stuff in this book before. I don't know what the stomach is. I forget. I don't remember that one. What is it? Where is it? The stomach problems is dread, fear of the new, inability to assimilate the new. That's right. I remember talking about that with her. So dread, fear of the new, inability to assimilate the new. But what's so new for her that she's having fear with? That's what I'd like to know. Well, new connection to her relationship, that's for sure, because it's not the same connection she had before because of what he did. I don't know if you're aware of that. But again, he likes to run around and do what he wants to do with whoever he wants to do it with, which is really sad for her. But, people that do that and people that cheat, that's their own insecurities. It's so easy for us to take that personally and be like, why me? What did they do to me? No, that's them. They're screwed up. Don't. Been there, done that. It had nothing to do with you. They'll blame you too sometimes. They love to blame you for their psychological issues. But yeah, that's them, friends. So if you ever endured that in your life, don't blame yourself. It had nothing to do with you. Don't make it about you. It's all about them. They are insecure, unfaithful, not very nice people. So going back to Princess Kate. She's going to have a struggle. I forget what year she was in. Hold on, let's find out. When is Princess Kate Middleton's birthday? That's right. She's in her 9 year. Totally in her 9 year. Totally forgot about that. Endings, death of cycles, letting go of, getting rid of, which actually could be a good thing for her because the 9 could help her to beat this disease 100%, which I have no doubt she will. That's the 9. But 9s are endings, death of cycles. And the 9 vibration does often bring up major health issues. That's why people often pass in their 9 years. Not always. Again, don't worry about it if you're in a 9 year. As long as you're willing to let go and clear things out, your 9 year will not be that bad. It might not be bad at all, actually. My last 9 year was pretty simple. The one before that, well, that was literally like hell. But that was a long time ago. Well, that was over 9 years ago. 10 years, 12, 13 years ago. So anyway. So what are your thoughts on Princess? So many people asked the same question. Princess William and Kate. I told you my thoughts on that. She's only going to put up with it for so long until her kids are old enough for her to split. And she will get through this. I feel that she will get through this. She's going to have a rough one. And she might even end up with a relapse if she don't get out of that marriage soon. That marriage is going to kill her. That's what Spirit just said. She's got like 3 to 6 years to get that all done and over with. and to work on whatever trauma she's experiencing. So that's sad. That's sad. She was so pretty too. She probably still is pretty, but we haven't seen her in so long. Do blue roofs? Oh, I didn't even see this. I must have copied and pasted it and didn't read it. Do blue roofs, if we go and paint our roofs blue, make any difference against dues? Well, first and foremost, I said don't go painting your roof blue. You're going to piss off your neighbors. That makes me actually want to paint my roof blue now. But yeah, I mean, we know certain shades of blue absolutely resist that. We know that. I mean, there's enough evidence to prove that. At the same time, is it really going to help you? If they wipe out your whole neighborhood, what good is it if they look at the people of Lahaina? Even if their house was still standing, they're not allowed in there. They're not allowed near it. They were allowed to go in after they waited forever, and they're not allowed in there. That's guarded like as if it's some kind of military place, or a prison. I mean, guard it big time. Can't get near it. Something shady about that. Oh, they say it's not safe. Oh, but they're in there. They can go in there, but you can't go in there. So I wouldn't worry about the whole blue roof and the whole do thing. Again, when you plug into the fear of things, you're literally going to create it. Now, I know listening to certain predictions and all could easily strike up fear in some people, but the whole object of it is, again, not to be scared, to be prepared, to know that these are potential events happening, but at the same time, we could work together on holding a different outcome in the light to hopefully shift or change it. Some things can be shifted and changed. Some things can't. Like, it seems like prophecies can't. They happen no matter what, which is really interesting. That whole eclipse thing and what's happening is just really kind of creepy. Really creepy. And we know United States is in a huge, and if you go back to my channeled predictions, which I haven't done them in a while, I should probably do a new one soon. The channeled predictions, the creepy stuff is about to happen. I'm going to put that all together for you, by the way, in a different video, comparing it with what the remote viewers have received to see if we can come to a better conclusion. That's hopefully something I'm going to work on this weekend if I get time. But definitely we'll have something out on that video next week at some point. Maybe Monday, so keep an eye out on Monday. The U.S. economy. Will the U.S. economy be in bankruptcy, and will there be a new currency? I've talked about that 1.5 million times. The United States is already bankrupt, by the way. When are they going to be bankrupt? They already are bankrupt. And they're just drawing on our taxes and stealing our money, gutting us dry, and there's going to be big revelations on like anything that any of us could ever imagine that are coming. This eclipse, again, isn't marking off just something big or bad happening like a conflict or a civil war or whatever. No, it's marking off a time that people, again, repent in peace. Those two different meanings right there over Salem and Nineveh. Peace and repent. So repent, friends. Pray to Jesus. Repent for your sins. And know that peace will prevail. No doubt about it. That is in the prophecy. I don't know. People think it's going to happen like that and it's all going to be overnight. I wish it probably will, but not in the near future. Some folks believe that's coming. All of a sudden there's going to be peace. There's going to be a lot of conflict before there is peace. And there will be peace. Still, there's got to be that stir up that happens in the United States. It's in many of my predictions going back 15 years ago. And the prophecies and so forth. Things must shift and change in this country, and they are going to, 100%. This marks it off. And being they have the National Guard and all out, I would imagine that they probably, again, are planning something. Putting the National Guard out there, make it look safer. And, of course, if there was a big event that will happen, it won't happen where the National Guard are. Guaranteed it'll happen somewhere, maybe near where they are, but it won't be where they are. You watch. Spirit says boom booms. So yeah, boom booms. So there will be something that happens. Interesting. But know that you're safe. Be mindful of your surroundings and enjoy it. If you are in the path of the eclipse, you definitely want to go get yourself some of them special glasses and hook those bad boys up because it's quite a magical experience. I really enjoyed it. Yes. Me and Becky sat out there all day watching that. It was awesome. I very much enjoyed it. So what was that question? And that was another thing with Cape Middleton is the Kate Middleton thing a false flag. Definitely not. I mean, because really, technically, it's only the people there, in the UK and England that really are all about that. Most people in the rest of the world could care less. So they would need a bigger diversion than just Kate Middleton for it to be a false flag. A much bigger diversion than that. Unless, again, they could be doing that in England purposely, sure. But I'm not getting that that's the case at all. At all. She's definitely suffering. She's definitely ill. There's definitely problems there. And, I just get this feeling that they're cursed. The royal family. I feel like there's like a curse. A curse that started right before the Queen left. Somebody asked me about London and the UK. You remember last year, or whenever the Queen died, it was at least 6 months before the Queen died, I kept hearing the song, London Bridge is Falling Down. London Bridge is falling down. And I didn't know until y'all, people, especially folks in UK and England, said that that's actually code for the Queen being down. And that happened, of course, soon after that prediction. Not soon after, like 6 months later. But I'm getting that song again. London Bridge is falling down. And I don't know the rest of the song. So something's happening there. There's definitely a collapse and a fall that's happening even within the royal family. And Spirit told us that. Remember that. I'm getting deja vu. I think it was actually a few years ago that there was chaos happening in the Buckingham Palace. And not just Buckingham Palace. Remember, I saw also, I'm getting this reminder now, that I saw like a prince being kind of stabbed in the back. And I was thinking more like Saudi Arabia over there, that kind of prince. So that's coming up in my mind. So I believe that's happening. I talked about all the people that were going to resign and be taken out of power or taken down completely, if you know what I mean. And we just had, the Prime Minister of Ireland just stepped down, but a couple of people did. But I feel like this whole thing in April, it's not going to be them just stepping down. It's going to be people being taken out. Expect that. Remember what Spirit said in January, the 3 most powerful months of the year were April, August, and October. And I think October will be the doozy of the doozies. I think that the one in August will be kind of mild compared to the April and the October. And I know that April, of course, and in August, we have the Mercury retrograde and energy shifts. We don't have one in October, but there's something happening in October. Major stuff. So, moving right along. So the UK, yeah, so I heard London Bridge is falling down. Spirit shows me shifting of power, like I see somebody juggling, like a juggler. Spirit shows me somebody juggling, and that's their power structure right now. They're all being juggled up and down, juggled around in some way or another. It's the first time I ever saw a juggler in visions before. Yeah, there you go. That's what they say about the UK and all. Someone asked if I still see that spring quake happen. Again, lots of things come flowing out of my mouth, and I have no recollection or can remember everything I said. So do I still see? I'm assuming that I said that. So if I said that, I'm going to say, yeah, I guess it's still there. Spirit hasn't said anything different. The hardest thing, again, though, you must know, is putting an exact timeline on any prediction. It's literally, sometimes certain dates have come up in important, significant things. But picking a specific date for something like that is a little hard to do. But April is that Mercury retrograde and the energy shift, which ignites the seismic activity big time. And I just looked at the earthquakes yesterday. And I always look for the past 7 days and all the, 4.5 or higher, the higher ones. And there was only 68. That's the least amount I've seen looking at that map. When it gets into the hundreds, that's when we got a lot going on. It's very quiet right now. Tectonic plates. The quiet before the storm, friends. The quiet before the storm. That's what I think is happening. And I'm more concerned around the New Madrid fault than I am California right now because of the exact alignment with this eclipse over that fault. And remember what I said about a great shaking coming to, I think it was Oklahoma, in Oklahoma City? Yeah, because Spirit showed it to me in comparison to the big explosion, the big thing that happened way back in the day in Oklahoma City. Without saying the word, you know what I'm talking about? Boom. So yeah, that would be more of my concerns. And again, if you're worried about earthquakes where you live, then move somewhere else. Even though it's not going to help, because no matter where we live over the next, between now and 2030, it doesn't matter where you live, you're going to be experiencing some kind of major weather events. That's why Spirit's been telling us for the longest time to stock up on food, water, and have like a plan. Like a plan for whatever. If you lose power for a year or whatever the case may be. That's going to happen too. People asked about that with the power outages. I find it really interesting that, we just had the release of that movie, Leave the World Behind, which we find is produced by the Obamas. And now we find that according to Spirit, we have Iranian and Chinese sleeper cells set up in our cities already. Of course, they're going to blame Russia, but it's actually not them. It's China and Iran. Russia will renege on their agreement with China. So, I don't know what that agreement is, but they're going to renege on it. So, Russia's not the concern. It's China and Iran. And if you remember that movie, Leave the World Behind, remember the little pamphlets that were dropped out of the helicopters? What writing were they in? They appeared to be both a combination. On one side of the United States, it was Chinese, and on the other side, it was Iran. So, just kind of interesting, friends. It's like these people are in charge, or like to believe they're in charge. They have sick, demented plans. That's why it's just important to just be safe and know that no matter what, even this eclipse tells us, peace will overreign it all. Peace will come out of it all. Sometimes things got to flare up and there has to be civil conflict in order for there to be peace. And peace is coming. Not as soon as I would like it to come, but by 2032, remember what Spirit telling me that when I was young, but telling me, I remember hearing that when I was in my late teens, I think, that 2032 would be the new earth. And then remember what Spirit told me back in 2016, that 2025 to 2032 would be the most challenging time on the earth. 2025 is right around the corner, friends. And then we have, Nibiru, the planet Nibiru, coming in behind Apophis, which hits in 2029. Why do you think the billionaires are building their bunkers? Because they don't know. I find it interesting that Zuckerberg's building it in Hawaii. Now, Spirit told me a while back that Hawaii was the center of the earth. So it's not going to go nowhere. Which is interesting. So maybe that's why. Maybe he got that message too. And I don't think going underground is going to help you. What it's going to help with is certain places are going to experience a large amount of radiation. That's in the prophecies. It's in all the prophecy. But again, worrying about it isn't going to help you. I'm not worried about it. I'm here. What happens, happens. I signed up for it. Bring it on. I'll just be prepared. Don't be scared. And no matter where you are, again, there's going to be, and I would expect, again, Spirit shows me this now, a lot of flaring up of major earthquakes in United States, between United States, Mexico, and even all the way up to Canada. Follow the line of the eclipse. Follow the line of the eclipse, the Spirit says. And enjoy the eclipse. What does someone else say about this? Camp Flagry is a super volcano. Campy Fergry. I butchered that, I'm sure. A super volcano that's increased in seismicity. I'm wondering if this volcano activity is possible in the future. I'm not getting any concerns around super volcanoes, because they talk about the Yellowstone supervolcano all the time, which of course would be a concern. But being concerned, again, it's a supervolcano. What you gonna do? There ain't nothing we can do about it. Move as far away as you can from it. That's about it. I do see volcanic activity happening in Yellowstone. So therefore, the Campy Phagra, I would say, yeah, I do see activity occurring there, but I don't see a super volcanic eruption. Not there. I'm trying to ask Spirit where there will be super volcanic eruptions, and they're not giving me an answer right now. Because I do see one, but it looks like it's out in the middle of nowhere. Kind of like out in the upper regions of Russia, where like no man goes. Because Russia's got some land and mountains out there where no man goes. It's like out there. I could see something kind of on the super level coming in. But other than that, I would tell you, don't worry about the super volcanoes. And if you live near a volcano and you're worried about it, try to find an exit. Find somewhere else to live so that you're not living in fear. We answered that question already. We answered Princess. My son informed me that 33 churches in Canada have been torched. Funny thing is that you don't hear anything about them. Only attacks on Jewish or other religions. It is like Christians around the world are free game. If you disagree, then you are labeled a racist. That's not a question. I don't know why that's there. That's not a question. It's probably there because I wanted to look it up. Does anybody in Canada, can anybody validate that? Can anybody tell us, have there been that many churches? And 33, what a magical number. That is Jesus' number, by the way. So there'd be no coincidence in that either if there were exactly 33. And we know the Freemasons love that number. That's their number, baby. That's their number. What are y'all saying in the chat room? I'm not able to. I wasn't watching. Zuckerberg got a super yacht. Well, maybe it'll sink. I mean, like, what do you even need that for? Like, I thought about that. Like, when I win that $1 billion, because I'm going to, why would you need all that? I would have an underground bunker, no doubt about it, but not $100 million one. That's just ridiculous. You don't need it. Well, he thinks he does because he thinks he's God. But anyway, Green Man ISIS. What's that? That's the only thing I said. Good morning from Sydney. Nanette. Is it morning time over there? Actually, afternoon, Nanette said. She corrected herself. Probably more than 33 churches, says Wendy in the chat room. So I'll have to look into that. I'll look into that and let you know on Tuesday's show because I found that interesting. Someone asked me if I would consider doing a retreat in Sedona, Arizona. Yeah, that is the goal, actually. That's been the goal all along before I even moved here. Problem is that I'm a very, very busy person. Between clients, classes, and content, I need somebody to work for me. That's what I need. And I'm not doing that right now. So, but my goal is, yes, to do retreats. I have a couple things in mind. I was hoping for this fall, but now I'm thinking this fall I'm going to go do something back in Pennsylvania. So I'm not sure, but that is on my list. For sure on my list, 100%. Someone asked, can you check to see if we're going to have any blackouts? Follow the eclipse. Spirit, again, follow the eclipse. There's your answer right there. On the north side of the country. Well, the north side of the country is pretty big. What do you mean? The north side of the country is the whole upper region of the United States. That's like almost the whole country if you're talking about the north. Oh, you said northeast. I'm sorry. I thought that said northern. I can read. Northeast side of the country. New York, Philadelphia, parts of Maine. Lots of big blackouts, including an attack on the electrical infrastructure. I said this in the past in predictions, but I'll say it again. Spirit saying it again. New York is the biggest threat. There's already a plan in place to take out New York City's grid, at least for a few hours, to accomplish other steps within their agenda. I remember my visions of I saw people with pow-pows on the streets, like almost like military people on the streets, and they weren't military and they weren't Americans. I saw that. I don't know when that's coming. Again, I'm not going to say that that's all happening during the eclipse. It's just really bizarre that they have the National Guard out. But here's the thing. If they have the National Guard out like that, people would just wait till the day after the eclipse. It doesn't matter. Although there's probably are those radicals that are like dealing with psychological things that might truly believe they have to pull this off on this day. You know how people think. Or we really don't know how they think, actually. So, yeah, blackouts. Los Angeles is going to have problems with blackouts as well. And the south side of Los Angeles, there's also plan in stake to take out their part of their grid at the same time as New York, says the spirits. I don't know. Again, I'm geographically challenged, but why southern Los Angeles? What's the difference? Why, think somebody say that. Maybe somebody that knows Los Angeles can tell us. Why does Spirit say the southern part of Los Angeles? Why would, if you were a crazy person, maybe you are a crazy person, but if you was a crazy person, why would you take out northern Los Angeles and not southern too? Or maybe it's hard for them to do that. Not sure. Yes, I am coming back to PA in May. As soon as my gardening's all done and in. Someone asked me, what's up with Obama visiting Richie Sunak in the UK? Why do you even care? Like, who cares? It's Obama. He's probably up to no good, of course. Up to no good at all. I know I saw a lot of people talking about that. I didn't plug into it at all. I don't trust him. I've never trusted him, even though way back in ancient times I voted for that man. I wasn't quite awake, I guess. And then that movie. Something sinister, Spirit just said. Something sinister. But here's the thing. They're not going to pull off. Here's the other thing that's really important for people to know. They're not going to pull off. They, meaning the global elite or China or whoever is, has this plan for United States and for the UK and France. So I said this in my channel predictions. I saw multiple booms. And again, that could be just symbolic too. Again, some things have to be interpreted that Spirit shows me. But I saw explosions, big ones. I keep hitting this damn mic. Go over there. Explosions. And I remember Spirit saying simultaneous explosions, but not just like in several different countries. So I felt like it was a multiple attack. And Spirit, they're going to fail. Here's another theory that I have. Remember, I said that in my predictions that China is definitely going to attack Taiwan. They already have it planned out. They're going to do it. They're just waiting for the proper time. But remember I said, and some people will remember this because I remember people put in the comments, that would be a gentleman put in there, and he might know, maybe he was in the military. That would be not a smart strategy. But I saw them attacking two places, China attacking two places at the same time, if you remember. So, it doesn't mean that they're directly attacking. It could be what they put their sleeper cells attack, and why that chaos is happening. It gives them the perfect opportunity to attack Taiwan. And that's what I believe their plan is. It's not so much the plan to attack United States. I mean, that's part of it, but that's not really their goal, their agenda. Their agenda is Taiwan. And in order to take Taiwan, they have to cause enough confusion in the other countries, plural countries, that would support Taiwan and go in. So again, United States, the UK, Paris, or France, maybe even Poland as well. Remember what I said about Poland in the past. I saw tensions and conflict on the borders of Poland. So that's coming. Our poor friends in Poland. Poor everybody. Focus on the light. Go to the light, Caroline. I said that already. There's peace in the light. I love that movie. I think I'm going to watch that movie tonight. I love that. Poltergeist. The little psychic lady. She's awesome. La 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 la. So, going back to blackouts. That's the question I was on. Sorry. Where else? Paris. Of course, Paris. La la. It won't be a lot of people are concerned, worried, or putting out fear that the whole grid's going to go down in the United States. And actually, technically, they only have to hit, I don't know if it's 5 or 7. I can't remember the number. I just watched this recently. One of our government guys, they only have to hit 5. I think it's 7, actually. 7 spots to take out the whole entire United States grid. 7 spots. That's it. 7 spots takes out 50 states. I thought that was pretty crazy. I thought that was really, really crazy. They will not succeed, says Spirit, so don't worry about that. But definitely, again, be prepared no matter where you live. Have some other form of backup cooking. Gas grill is perfect. Just have a couple extra things of propane. Because it will be chaotic for a little while, but it'll smooth out. Everything needs to change, and it's about to. In the United States especially. Big, big things are coming between now and the end of the year. Especially, right before elections. I mean, right before elections. That's probably why Spirit kept telling us October. August and October. And, of course, April. Have you any visions for Philippines or South Asia? Well, I can't just call on visions to come. Oh, great one, give me visions. They just randomly come. I can't control that. But anything about the Philippines there, Spirit people. Philippines nearby in that whole part of I don't have a map in front of me. Maybe I'll pull up my map. Hold on. Philippines is where I believe one of the big tsunamis will hit eventually, the coast of the Philippines. Oh, you know what? I'm online. If I pull up the map, it's going to mess up my connection. I'll have to save that for another time. But Philippines, yeah, right nearby because you're not far from Indonesia. Indonesia is going to be the hot spot for igniting seismic activity. But also right off the coast, remember my vision of what I said off the coast, not off the coast, in the water of the Pacific. The Pacific, underneath the Pacific Ocean, both the southern and the northern Pacific, a major activity is going to begin to ignite. Now, there's many reasons why, speculation we can say, as to why this is happening. If we go back to the planet Nibiru, which in the Bible, you got planet Wormwood and you have planet X. There's that X again, right? We have the whole X theme. SpaceX. Starlink uses the X. You got the X platform. You got the X over United States. Just crazy. You got Disease X. We don't have Disease X. It's supposed to be a simulation. But they still made it Disease X. There's so much to that. Going back to the Philippines. So, yeah, underneath the Pacific, we're going to see lots of flaring up. And a lot of this has to do, again, depending on what you believe in speculation. I truly believe this is the case, though. The planet Nibiru, or Planet X, or whatever you want to refer to it, which follows behind in the Hopi prophecy, the blue star Kachina. I did 2 Hopi prophecy videos. I did one called the Hopi prophecy, and then I did the one on April 13th, 2029. That's all about the Hopi prophecy. That actually puts together several prophecies that align perfectly with each other, including the Holy Bible. So again, check that video out. It's called Warning, April 13th, 2029. So that planet, the red planet, it's also called the red planet or the red star. It's supposed to be like 10 times or 20 times bigger than the Earth. And as it approaches from the solar system, comes into our solar system, it throws off the magnetic, everything of all the planets in our solar system. And then, if you look back at the past decade, you'll see that there's been changes in the climate on Mars. Mars having the biggest sandstorms ever recorded, and just so many other things happening to all the other planets. You can't tell me the cow farts are affecting Mars. Unless they put cows on Mars. You just can't tell me that. Just sorry. And again, this is why they're building their underground bunkers. And that's the main reason. They're finding out. They know what's coming. And here's the other thing, according to even the Hopi people, as this approaches, it brings more radiation to the planet. And that could be potentially what is causing so much sickness and the outbreaks of diseases that are coming in the future. That's in all the prophecies. So all has to do with that. Now, many believe that the Red Star Planet is also where the Anunnaki people come from. The Anunnaki people who are alleged to have built the pyramids. The pyramids that we're taught are only 3,000 years old when they're actually more than 10,000 years old. Regardless, they say they're going to return too. And it would be easier for them to return when their planet is closer to our planet. And it's going to go, that blue star, the blue star Kachina in the Hopi prophecy, is the comet Apophis. I have no doubt 100% that I am right. That's the one thing I know. I'm 100% on that. And I bet you talk to any of the Hopi people, they'll tell you the same thing. That's coming. Because all the prophecies are happening right now. We have the Euphrates River drying up. We have these conflicts, nations against nations. Right now, there's 5 major conflicts happening on our planet. You got the Russia, UKR. You got the Israel. There's 5 big conflicts. The one in Sudan. So it's flaring up, friends. It's flaring up. Be prepared. Raise your vibration just by being joyful, happy, eating healthy, doing things that make you joyful and happy, and it'll be so much better for you. So that's what's happening, though. As that planet gets closer, it brings up all the seismic activity and everything. And that's what all the past prophecies say about what happened, even if we go back to the flood of Noah. So I just have this feeling that the global elite sickos are pushing this, making it happen sooner with their technology. For example, using their lasers, as I showed you in my wildfire video yesterday, to melt the glaciers. It's not the sun. It's the little machines. Yeah. It's really funny, too, because they tell us that they use the chemtrails. They tell us they do that. So when people say that's conspiracy, I'm like, you don't follow what your government tells you, do you? Because the government tells us. They do that to reflect the sunlight. They're poisoning the heck out of Americans more than any other country in the world. But that's supposed to reflect the sunlight to stop, the warming up. But it's still getting warmer, huh? It's still getting warmer. We see more and more things happening. It's crazy, friends. It's crazy. Will a quake hit Imperial Beach, California? Well, that's very specific to me. And if it's near LA, then we'll say yes. Tijuana, Mexico. Tijuana! Isn't that where Cheech and Chong went? Tijuana. So I guess that's down towards the tip. I just said that, I think in yesterday's or Tuesday's video or last Tuesday's video, that there was going to be an earthquake down towards the tip between Mexico and California. So if that's where that is, I'm geographically challenged and I'm not going to look it up on the map. I know that if you're saying Imperial Beach, California and Tijuana, Mexico, I'm assuming they're near each other. So yes, there will be. But not something that you need to worry about according to spirits. So don't get all freaked out about it. You'll be fine. La, 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 la. I like this question. Will Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, Obama, and other Dem kingpins be put on trial for sedition and treason? Or will only conservative patriots continue to be prosecuted? Interesting. They're going to continue to prosecute everybody they want to prosecute, to put people into, and it has nothing to do with Republican or Democrat, because let me just tell you, there are evil Republicans and there are evil Democrats. There are good Democrats and there are good Republicans as far as people are concerned. So you can't, and I know people love to judge people based on their side. Don't pick a side. Right wing, left wing, same bird. But they will pay their karma, Spirit says. They will pay their karma. Pelosi won't be around to be able to pay it, so I would imagine that she'll be out before whatever karma comes back to the rest of them, like Obama. Pelosi, I feel like, yeah, she's probably on her way out. And I wouldn't believe, remember what Spirit told us, that we were going to see leaders dropping, leaders being taken out, specifically taken out. So a lot of them, that's what we're going to see more than anything. A lot of them, remember, the Spirit said the elite would drop. Now, if we go back to predictions years ago, remember, I also saw visions of there being major arrests taking place. So justice will prevail. And I believe that this eclipse, the repent and the forgive over the Salem and Nineveh cities, 7 on both, it's just, there's no coincidence there. That's all to bring peace. And it was, I had those visions of people being arrested, high up people being arrested years and years ago, before anybody even thought about it or talked about it. So, and some things take 3 years or longer to take true. Some things take many, many years later that they come true, especially big events like that. Because whatever this is, this feeling, it's a big event. Rounding up people and arresting people, that's huge. That's huge. Spirit also shows me the dropping of 3-letter agencies. CIA, the FBI, not just the United States, but your 3-letter agencies in other countries too. I literally see their patches just falling off the wall, like they're on a wall and they're just falling off the wall. That's how Spirit shows it to me. Will the Palestine people survive and have a homeland? The Palestine people need to flee and create their own new homeland, says Spirit, and eventually they will do so, what remains of them. But again, to answer that in the long run, yes. So it'll be nearby, I would imagine, what Spirit just said. Again, I don't remember exactly what Spirit just said, but they need to flee, and nearby they'll build a new homeland, those that remain. And that'll be much sooner than later. So, but they need to get out of that part of the land, the main land. There's too much blood in the soil, says Spirit. Too much blood in the soil, and they need to relocate nearby. So I don't know. Again, I'm just telling you what Spirit's telling me. I think that's fascinating, actually. Maybe you should be the one. Maybe you are the one. Maybe Spirit picked you, and that you are to take the people to a nearby land. Get off the blood-stained land, Spirit says. And I don't think that's the whole entire country. I feel like there's part of it that's just blood-stained, according to Spirit. Can Spirit give you any insight on April 8th eclipse? Well, I think we just did a lot of that right there. Pelosi, we did that too. That one's done, gone. After watching your wildfire video today, Thursday, that was yesterday, I was wondering exactly where in Alaska you see wildfires and when. Well, I'd have to do some map gazing to be able to do that. And I don't have my map up or my map gazing abilities turned on right now. But I'll leave that there in my notes. And I'll do some map gazing. Actually, maybe I'll do that next week. Do a map scrying video. A map scrying Q&A. I'll have to just figure out how I can get my map up on here for you when I'm live. If I can do that, we'll do a live map scry. And that'll be fun. That'd be real fun. But I don't have, and Alaska is pretty big. So I don't have, I would say definitely near the water, because it just seems like that seems to be where they target, near the water. And if you missed my video yesterday on the wildfires, be sure to tune in, baby. Tune in. When do you see the great rise of silver? Silver and gold. Silver, I just was looking at silver. I wanted to buy some, but Spirit told me to wait. So I was about to buy, like wasn't sure whether I was going to put $1,000 into it. 500. I think I might do half and half, 500 in that, 500 in gold. I mean, I might only get a speck of gold for $500, but it's still gold. But I have this feeling it's going to go down a little bit before it skyrockets up. and everything's going to go down. I'm sitting back waiting for that. I was just saying that to one of my friends earlier. I'm just waiting because I know it's all going to drop, and I'm not a Bitcoin stock person, but I'm going to be one in the near future. I'm going to focus on that, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to be looking at that. But drop. Now, remember, I started to tell you to buy silver back when it was 18 something, almost $19 an ounce. That's when Spirit told us to start buying silver. And now it's almost 25 bucks an ounce. It's pretty sweet. It's going to skyrocket over the next few years, but it's going to go down a little bit. So Spirit says, wait till it goes down to like at least 23 before you buy. I don't know what the gold price is, but I feel like I think it's over 3,000 now, but that might dip again also. That's going to dip below 3,000, maybe around 29, 28, 29, and then it's going to go up. Of course, Spirit, I agree, says you got to watch what the wealthy are doing. And what are they doing right now? They are selling all their stocks. They're getting out. And they were buying all the gold and silver up. I don't know if they still are, but they were. I think they might have slowed down on that a little bit because they're going to bring it down just a little bit so that they can make more money. We'll keep an eye on it. And again, tune in every single Tuesday for Tuesday's Tittle Tea Time Predictions Update so you know what's going on and what's coming up in the future. Other than that, let me go back over into my chat room. I haven't gotten to chat with anybody in the chat room. Fox, the cutest dog in the West. What kind of screen name is that, girl or guy? Oh, your dog. See, I don't have glasses on. I can't see the dog. Do you have a copy of Poltergeist? Were you asking me that? I can go right online and watch it for free. There's websites for that, you know. I used to have all that stuff like Netflix. I don't pay for anything. The only thing I actually do pay for is YouTube Premium. Because I like to watch some content on YouTube, and I get sick and tired because some of the content I watch, they put a commercial every 4 minutes, and it's annoying. So I just pay $14 a month, and I don't have to deal with YouTube commercials, and it's quite fabulous, I must say. So if you watch that much YouTube, it pays. So the copy of Poltergeist. Now there's the old Poltergeist and the new one. And I don't usually like remakes of movies, especially like my favorite movie, and still Poltergeist, the original, is always going to be the best. But they did a pretty damn good job in the remake of that. I gotta say, they did a really good job with that. They could have had a better psychic, but that actress that played the psychic in the original Poltergeist, she was just amazing. Loved her. Yeah, it's supposed to snow here. Someone's saying in the chat room, yeah, you're getting the cold and white. Whoever they're talking to in the chat. It was beautiful out today, 65 degrees. I cleaned up my whole backyard, turned the soil in my gardens, cleaned up the wood pile. I did a lot today outside. Love it. Only thing is then I have allergies all night, and I refuse to take allergy medicine. But it's supposed to snow here on Sunday. And all my plants are planted indoors. I plant everything indoors. And then I just put up my greenhouse the other day, get that up. I put a little heater in there. I'm going to wait until it's supposed to snow on Sunday. I can't believe that. It was 65 degrees out today. But that happened last year here in Arizona. And remember, even though I'm Sedona, I'm still high up. I'm in higher elevation. So, it could be snowing here, and I could drive down into Sedona, into town, and it'd be raining. Oh, excuse me. Anyway. Do I have any members that are in my chat? Members of the community down below? Anybody? Oh, I can't. I don't know if I could see it on here. I got to go back over here to the other chat room. I don't see any. We've been here for a while. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go make some dinner. Oh, shoot. My dinner's probably burning in the oven. Sugar me timbers. Sure, I forgot all about it. I got to leave you with that. I got food in the oven. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Keep an eye out because I will have something new, I think, on Monday. Hopefully, I'll get it done on Monday. And it has to do with the big event that, lots of people like myself have been feeling and having visions of. I'm putting that together in a video with the remote viewing and connecting it to see what we can come up with. So you're not going to want to miss that, beautiful friends. You're definitely not going to want to miss that. So, until the next time, beautiful friends, remember to celebrate life, celebrate you, be kind to others as you wish others be kind to you, and be bold, be true, be kind, be you. Why? Because you are friggin' amazing. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Much love, friends. Much love.